can you give us just like a quick little intro as to what you're doing in the land of distribution?
Ooh, starting strong. So when it comes to distribution at the HeyReach, we're pretty strong in few fronts. If you hear some strange noises, I
I can hear
need
your dog,
to.
yeah.
She's very dramatic when she needs hydration. Sorry, she needed to join. Now we are fully to start. So when it comes to distribution, we're pretty hard on that. So every content piece that we decide to make, it needs to go like into at least 10 other content pieces. Meaning, for example, if we decide to do a certain YouTube video, it needs to go as well in few shorter videos that will be distributed either through YouTube, through community, through not anymore through LinkedIn company page, but through other page.
You do what you can.
Also, yeah. Also through blog, it will be used as a placement in few blog posts that are related or that are mentioning that topic. And then YouTube video is actually expanding on that topic. We also use that video to create additional blog posts on that topic under the expertise of the creator who did the video. It same goes for any blog post we do, for any playbook as well. For example, we have a page, it's Outbound Outliers, where all our users share great playbooks, flows that they are doing, not only with HeyReach, but with their full GTM stacks. Sorry, like she's into cables. So we publish those playbooks on dedicated page, but then we use them in blog posts that we create as real life use cases. We also distribute all of the content I mentioned. We distribute that in newsletter, and we also distribute that into our closed community. We distribute that within our LinkedIn accounts, also within the campaigns. I need to say that I am very lucky with this team because this is the first time ever that I actually have a sales team and GTM team picking up organically like content that we create, and they use that in their campaigns. They use it as sales enablement content and also in outbound, which is the ultimate goal. And it's a signal that you're actually creating a content that it's influencing decisions when it comes to your ICPs. Basically, when you don't have to pull sales people, hey, look what content we
Yeah.
have. It means that you have a machine because everyone and anyone is repurposing naturally. Also, we have a lot of people picking up and making like carousels out of the topics that we do, which I love to see also. And it actually helps them create some flows to make results, to influence their businesses. And that's why they're sharing. They're not sharing because like, oh, this sounds nice or this reads nice. Although I'm also big on that. Like, I love it when things read nicely or are easy to watch.
Although, how have the LinkedIn carousels worked for you? I love them visually so much, but I feel like the algorithm just never pushes them. I don't think they ever perform that well.
To be honest, I'm currently experimenting with them. Last year, I was doing like 99% text posts, and then I would throw some image or carousel here and there. And reach for carousels was disturbingly bad. For
Mm.
example, for a text post, I would get, I don't know, 5K reach, and then for a carousel, less than 1K, and it would be like few hundreds. However, I started doing more aggressively this year carousels and infographics, and it started picking up. So I think it depends what your audience likes to see and to engage with. And at one point, I'll probably do less carousels and focus again on text or mix it like more evenly. I just want to go through the whole experiment and then decide. It used to be a lot of hustle to make them. But right now, what I'm doing is taking hand of our Claudia queen to help me
Claude
out.
to the rescue.
Actually, like I create blog posts, I write it down because I'm still big on writing my own stuff. So I write it down, I edit it and prepare it and everything, and then I feed it to Claude Chat, and I feed it with brand guidelines and everything. And I'm like, give me a carousel out of this, and it's really good of picking the topics, so the important things within the text, and creating carousel. Although when it creates a carousel, it's still not a carousel that I can use on LinkedIn. I actually need to download the HTML and then feed it to Claude Code and be like, okay, now use this HTML and create me a carousel and that I can download in PDF, and like it's additional like 10 minutes, but in comparison of 3 hours in Figma, it's much faster.
But if you just use Claude Code for everything, it will generate both a PDF and an HTML, but you don't have to prompt it twice. If you just work in Claude Code for everything, my entire chat here is about creating like a social media batch, visuals included. This is like a one shot, but it's a one shot because I provided a ton of materials, and I already made last year some carousels for them by hand because I didn't have Claudia.
By
Um,
hand.
by hand. It's a
It
craft.
sounds like you took a piece of paper and a pen and like
That's exactly what it feels like because this week Claude it's been on it. It hasn't been great in terms of functionality. Some things that I regularly do every week just haven't been producing great results. But yeah, I was kind of forced to make a YouTube thumbnail from scratch. And I was just kind of like, I can't believe I'm doing this. This is crazy. It's just
how's
me and Figma. Like, this is insane.
for those who are not familiar, Barbie went to Fine Arts Academy. And actually like to design school and everything, so
Yeah.
she's not she's used to doing things manually. Yeah, I saw the post from Sam, your co-founder, where he showed the post from Anthropic, actually, where they said they released like 52 features and like big ones this month, and that's honestly like, come on, people. I mean, I can't keep up anymore. I'm just tired, bestie. Like I can't keep up with what Anthropic is publishing and what Ahrefs is doing. Like they're also like new whole products. Those are not features. Like those are whole
Mm.
new products every week. Are we going to create product inflation as well and then enter like fucking recession with product? I
New
mean,
features everywhere. This is why
yeah.
this live is a little bit more like we're sharing advice and tips and tricks that we know. Basically, all of my clients are B2B and my agency. We do a lot of distribution specifically on LinkedIn. And Bojana is in the HeyReach team, which is a LinkedIn distribution tool. So I think we're kind of perfectly positioned to share some of the tips and tricks and kind of industry standards of how you can improve your distribution. So that's basically what we're going to be covering today. And we're also going to build a distribution checklist really quickly that we can use for our Two Girls One Claude series so that we know how to basically supercharge the growth of it. Because so far we've only been using our organic reach, which is great. It's been working well, but we do want to grow this. So we do want to have some distribution. And again, we don't really have time to kind of deal with that week to week. So we would like to kind of have something set up that's ideally kind of running in the background and helping us promote this.
It will be a little bit lighter than previous episodes, but yeah, let's roll.
I don't think this is going to be too work intensive. So I'll just kind of ask you some questions while I'm doing this. I would love to know if there's like any specific stats that you guys have noticed in HeyReach because you have like some data. Is there anything that you've seen that maybe works better in 2026 versus 2025?
Share with you some things like basically
Ooh,
a teaser
please do.
for something that will be live in April, and that those are the stats from our own research we did based on campaigns, more than 90. So 90 26,051 campaign
Whoa,
was in research.
that's a data set. Oh my god. Okay.
Yeah. So please do not share that in our Substack. This is exclusively for live. A little bit of teasing. It will
On our
be
private live that nobody has
uh,
access to.
yeah. So we analyzed a lot of campaigns. We realized that actually the key things are to be relevant and to actually do prospecting really, really, really good. A lot of people are missing that step. I will just scrape something from Sales Navigator and then I will just feed that in whatever automation. This is basically a mindset from email automation. But what happens is that you burn your LinkedIn limits really, really fast this way as well. It doesn't matter if you do it manually or with automation. If you're just adding people randomly, if you don't have like your LinkedIn account set up, you don't have a proper headline, your profile picture and everything, that you will be ignored and you will hurt your own limits and it won't be good. So I know a lot of people who had problems even though they did everything manually because of it. We have few guides on our blog and our YouTube channel. Christina, please share in the chat.
Please put a link in the comments.
Yeah, for how you can optimize your LinkedIn profile. We did it in collaboration with Deandra Escobar, who is coach for LinkedIn. So it's not like we sat there and we decided what's going to be good for your profile. Like we brought someone who's actually living, delegating their agency work. You also need to verify your LinkedIn account and everything. Automation can just be your helping hand if you do everything right. We really, really take that seriously, meaning like we have created like inside of the product limits and everything, so you can't spam people. You can just work within the limits, and limits are not something to be played with
Yeah, because
in
they're
any
also
sense.
like it's a very small number of LinkedIn connections and messages that you can send in a day. But it's also understandable why those guardrails are there. Because otherwise it's really gonna be a free for all. And you know, we all already get a lot of messages that are a little unprompted. But yeah, no, I definitely agree. And I especially agree with you on the ICP, and that's why I basically included the folder of our side project, Two Girls, One Claude, and I told it to first tell me the ICP and who my ICP might be. Because I don't think we ever actually had like a conversation about this. I think we just kind of yeeted this into the world and, you know, just kind of saw who is
Yes and no.
RSVPing. I'm
Yes
sure
and
you've
no.
thought of
I
it. I
think
have not.
yeah, but if we go back to our conversation, so it was, Barbie, I need help, and you're helping people like me. So you're basically helping out startups who are actually are having small departments when it comes to marketing, and who are not having time to understand what's happening and to pick up with everything that's happening. And you were like, yeah, let's share that with the world because there is more people like you and me, so we are basically the ICP. But
Yeah.
tell
Which
me
I do
what.
think that rings correct with the RSVPs that we've gotten at first, which I
Mhm.
thought was gonna be like a few people, and then it ended up being like 75 plus people. So when I was looking through that list, it was very firmly in the marketing
Mhm.
industry. So yeah, content marketer, head of content growth, marketing manager at a B2B startup or scale up.
And what did you use?
Yes.
You use Code, yeah?
Claude Code. So what I did here was include our folder, which has honestly pretty basic things like our branding. It has every single LinkedIn Live transcript. It has every single Substack that we sent out. So that has a summary of every single one of our events. And it has our topic breakdowns, and kind of like our event plans for each episode. LinkedIn does not love giving you,
No.
lists to download, whether it's literally your own connections, which like those are mine. You should just export them in a list. You can do it, but they send
No.
you like a notification. It's like we'll email you, and then they send like half a list or something.
I will help you right now with that. What you can do actually is open HeyReach. Go to you can use my, even though it's my event, you can use it. It doesn't matter if it's event you hosted or if it's event that someone else hosted. So go to lead list, add leads. You see
LinkedIn
LinkedIn
events,
event,
attendees.
continue. Yeah.
Ooh, so you
And
just drop a URL here.
yeah.
There we go. Okay, 78 people. That would be a good list to scrape.
For example, from this live, and you can create a list out of it and send them campaign, because on that list there is a lot of people that are actually from my network and not yours, so you can also gain connections.
I thought
And
it's our network now. Okay,
it's our network now. Yeah, once we have a company page, it will be.
it's ours. It's all ours.
The other thing that you can also do is use Trickify. We have native integration with Trickify, and Trickify is super great in catching signals from events, from posts, from whatever. Also, it doesn't have to be yours. You can use influencers from your niche. You can use other competitors, you can use other peers or whatever, so you can even like scrape mine or
Mhm.
your choice. There is there are actually few resources on our blog, also on YouTube. The latest video is where Helen Yules explains like how he does lead gen for his clients, and he's super hard on Trickify and Clay. So you can use only Trickify, you can use only HeyReach, but you can also combine all three of them.
But yeah, I think this has it spot on. Drowning in content demands. Knows AI could help, but thinks they need to be technical to use tools like Claude Code. Skeptical of hype, allergic to generic AI slop, values quality and taste. They don't want to be replaced. They want to be faster. But yeah, curious but stuck. They kind of played with ChatGPT, maybe tried Claude, but haven't built real workflows, which I feel like is significant, especially this year. I feel like most of my work was done in ChatGPT in 2025. Now I don't know. I don't know her. I don't use her. I'm just on Claude. So I do think this is valid. So I'm gonna prompt it next. I basically want to see how it's going to outline our distribution channels. I wanted to take like a first stab at it because I thought about this and I wonder if I maybe missed anything or you might have some, ideas for us. Okay, so based on our ICP, what would be our ideal distribution channels? And then I do think LinkedIn automation will be a big one here because it is very LinkedIn platform focused. And this is something that I strongly believe. Your ICP and your target list is way more important than any. Like, I'm seeing so many tools that focus on personalization of outreach. And I find that inherently just a little creepy. When someone sends you a message, it's like, hey, I saw that you live here and you went to this event. And I'm like, you need to, what? I'm going to get a
Chill.
restraining order. What are you talking about? That's so weird. That's such a weird thing to, and even small things like, I saw that you engaged with this post. And I'm like, okay, well, did you just shoot a message to all 700 people that liked that post? Like, it just doesn't, it's not doing it. And you're wasting all of your message requests and connection requests and all of that. Like, you need to refine that list further. You don't need to go into personalization until you figured out your ICP and your target list.
I believe more in relevancy than in personalization, because when it comes to personalization, only few things can work without giving you that creep vibe,
It
or
is creepy.
it's either creepy or sloppy. The good personalization is, for example, I am getting like tons of DMs daily, like in terms of people reaching out to me. But the ones that made me laugh or smile or like, oh, someone actually read something, not like, the placeholder and then just put the random title, but they actually read something that I wrote on Substack. They actually read my summary on LinkedIn.
And I think what you showed as a good example of outreach, it stems from understanding who you really want to reach out to and why. And I feel like it's so simple, but that is where most of the kind of ideation and strategy breaks down, especially what I'm seeing with my clients. It's like content works really well in outreach. So if you build like a really valuable resource that is specific to your ICP or your target audience and that they will find genuinely useful, then just make it and then share it with them. That, of course, gets a lot more attention than just being like, hey, do you want to book a demo or do you want to book a call? So, a lot of teams make content and then they're like, this is so great, let's share it. And they're excited because they made it. So they believe that it's good and that it's great. And it might be good, it might be good quality. But why are you sending it? And like, not to be, kind of mean, but like, why would anyone really care? And if you don't really have an answer to that question, it's difficult to expect really good results. Like, you need to understand your ICP, you need to understand your target, and you need to understand what you want from them and how you expect this entire conversation to go. Because a lot of people, I think, just like, oh, let me send something nice, and then they'll hop on a call with me. And I'm like, that's a huge ask. It is a huge ask to just be like, book 30 minutes with me. I'm like, that's actually a lot of
For
time,
what?
and we're gonna need to
Yeah,
warm up to it.
the meme with SpongeBob, like, I don't care. I'm always asking, like, why the fuck would anyone care? And when you're distributing, like, you shouldn't just blast distribute things. I think that we should just be super specific when we do distribution as well, because not everything is for every channel. For example, on our blog, even when it comes to publication, distribution is not under one category. We have ICP that is in layers. There are guides, templates, frameworks, playbooks, blah, blah. They're having tags like, this is for sales, this is for agencies, this is for everyone. This is if you're a beginner in automation. Distribution on LinkedIn outreach or in email or outbound, it doesn't matter. You should also look at that piece and be sincere with yourself if that person who is on the other side would and should care about it, and why. For it to make better points, it needs more information. So we didn't include that this is at the moment like nonprofit that we just started, that it's for our reach and basically for educational purposes and for building personal brands. And connecting with like-minded people, and that we do not have any help out. So I think that those things are also like needed information for it to make better output.
Yeah, and if you are a company that has previously done ads or anything like that, you can also just download all of those reports so that it's aware of what your budgets were previously and what it kind of has room to work with. Which for us it's budget zero, but that's okay. Cause yeah, okay. I don't think we found out anything particularly new, but if you don't have an idea of what you can do, or you have a specific piece of content or a resource or a page that you want to promote, you can just put it into Claude and ask it what distribution channels would perform best based on that content and based on your ICP. And again, the more information you provide, the more detailed your ICP is, your target list, basically anything that you have to upload, the better it's going to be to give you that information. So I think we have kind of what we need for us. Are there any other kind of best practices that you've seen work really well in B2B, Bojana?
It depends. Typical marketer, typical SEO person. First answer, and it's depends.
Yeah.
Well,
No, but some
typically
people
you
are like, "Wow, I don't have like 90% response rate." And I'm like, "That's not I don't know how to tell you that that is impossible." Like that's not going to happen.
yeah, but you should aim to have like 1 in 5,
Mhm.
let's say roughly 1 in 5 connection requests accepted. It should be higher, but this is like a bare minimum. For typical campaign, like around 15-18% like reply rate. But it really depends on how well you do the lead list, how
Mhm.
relevant it is, how many touch points you had during the campaign. If you want, we can draft real quickly like one campaign in HeyReach that essentially you will use for distribution of this podcast while I'm explaining this. So they can see which touch points they can and should use maybe. For example, I start doing outreaches for certain mentions and backlinks with HeyReach. So what I do is I prompt through Claude, connect it to Ahrefs through MCP, and then prompt a certain analysis between two competitors of HeyReach, and I pull that out, that table. I feed it to Clay. Actually, it's not me; it's Umer, so I don't break something down. But he
Is it easy
enrich.
to break the connection between
It's
those?
no, it's just the Clay. The credits are super expensive, so if you are playing around, you can spend much more than if someone who is experienced. He can do it way easier, faster, and cheaper than it would be if I do it. And if for sake of speed, so we take those websites and told him like find me heads of SEO, content outreach managers, content managers, SEO managers, find me their email addresses and their LinkedIn profiles, and then we feed that lead list, we feed that into HeyReach, meaning we create a lead list and then I create a campaign for it. So, and then I basically feed that. I crafted a little campaign with few touches and connected also instantly for emails. And what it I essentially did, I sent no bullshit relevant message. So, hey, I saw you have this listicle where HeyReach is not mentioned. If you're open to feature us, let me know. And I
Mhm.
actually had like 57% reply rate
Ooh,
because of the brand and because it was relevant and because they knew who I am. Not specifically who I am as my name in person, but the brand. It was 57% reply rate, and whoever replied, we landed a mention.
that's
So,
crazy. I love that our
yeah.
advice here is like, you should have good branding. Why don't you work on your branding?
On your brand, work on, like invest money in your brand and time. But no joke, so I started as a link builder and like a decade ago. Yeah, it was a decade ago. And I know how hard was back then to find information, to find email. Like it was a common thing for someone to say to you, like you need to send 100 emails so you can get 10 replies, and out of 10
Mm,
replies maybe one will be positive, maybe. So if you go to campaigns, you type the name of the campaign, select the lead list, you can select or you can just select the yes, it has 0 leads currently, but when you feed it, it will have leads. So you can use template. Maybe we can start with click cancel, so we can do just like 2 or 3 quick ones. So you just go add action, And the great thing is if connection, to start with that. So immediately HeyReach can understand if someone is your connection, so they do not send them connection request,
Okay.
but they go. So if they're connection, they go in one bucket. In if they're not, they go in the other bucket. If they're a connection, you can start with liking a post or
Yeah.
seeing their profile. We do not do comment automation.
Yeah.
We're against that. So you can view a profile, like some post for engagement, and then add add action for sending connection request. Um, and you can add message or not. I prefer not to add messages
Yeah.
because that's something personal. Mm, but whatever you prefer. But I know that most of experts are recommending not to add anything, except
Yeah.
if you're I don't know, connected through some network already, or through some event, and then you can actually
Yeah,
refer to
like,
that.
"Hi,
But
met you at this thing," or whatever.
yeah, 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 yeah. And then if they accept, you can add action, like send a message.
Yeah.
That's if they're
Wait,
not
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Send a message, and there you can write things. So you can also add like you can add message variations if you want to test things out. Fallback message is basically if you include variables like first name, last name, position, whatever. As I like to include first name variable, but if something doesn't go through, you can always have fallback message for um just hey. And yeah, and essentially, like, you can add emails as well. And if all those, like, you're just building step by step. If those things don't work, like they do not answer, you can also add action. For example, add to instantly or add to smart lead, and then they can contact it through email as well. But one thing I need to highlight is that when someone answers you, automation stops immediately. So, for example, if you send connection request, they accept it, and they write back to you, they won't get your outreach message because automation stopped the moment someone engaged. That's when the manual process starts, because we build the tool in that way that once someone shows interest, it's on the human to take it over.
Yeah, and how
And
awkward would it be if someone you connect with, they send you a message and all of a sudden your, like, automated message is responding to them
yeah, yeah, yeah,
instead? It's
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah.
"Oh, okay."
Yeah. So don't worry about that. Whatever whatever stops you're building, the moment they start responding, like everything stops. You can also choose like senders if there is more of you in the team. This can rotate. For example, if you have a little list of 1,000 people, it will take too long for one sender to go over it because of the limits. But if you have 10 people, here which would rotate the list through senders. And you can also schedule things, preview, and you can also set working time for every LinkedIn sender. So automation is not going in the blast, but for example, if you set a limit of 25 actions through the day, and your working hour for a sender is, let's say, from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., it will go through those hours.
I like particularly the LinkedIn sender ones. I feel like for my clients, that one's really useful because I think a lot of teams, it just like didn't really occur to them that if your sales team is very active on LinkedIn and has LinkedIn distribution, you're going to see a lot of good results from that. And it's just like it could be a sales team of like 5 people.
Well, it's working for marketing as well. Sorry for taking 10 extra minutes.
No, that was great. I'm glad that we showed it.
Okay, then it's a wrap up for today. Thank everyone for joining. See you next Thursday. And we're doing deployment of website that we built in Claude and troubleshooting of everything that broke along the way.
Yep. It's going to be a
Thank
lot of crash
you.
outs. So thank you for joining.
Bye.